This is number 76 in chapter 7. So I tried to draw the same diagram that they have in the paper. It's not exactly accurate, but it's pretty close. So for part A, it asks what is the direction of the force of the particle when it is at point A. So to find the direction, we have to understand that force is the negative derivative of the potential energy. So if the slope of this is negative and we take the negative of that, it'll give you a positive x. Because you're heading in the x direction and it'll be positive because, like I said, the force is equal to a negative potential energy. So part B, what's the direction of force at part B? So since you have a positive slope and you take the negative of that, you're going to have a negative force in the x direction. Part C, it asks, at what value of x is the kinetic energy of the particle a maximum? So you're going to have the maximum potential energy as it's coming down, but you're going to have the maximum kinetic energy at the bottom because the potential energy is being converted to kinetic. So once you hit the bottom, that's when you have the maximum kinetic energy. So that's going to be at about 0.75. Part D, what is the force of the particle when it's at point C? So the slope of this is 0. And that makes sense. So your force at that point is 0. Part E, what is the largest value of x reached by the particle during its motion? So if your particle is moving along this, it's going to want to stay in the stable spot. So whatever energy here, that's potential energy, will be converted to kinetic once it hits here, and then it keeps going, reaches here, goes down, and goes back up. But you can't have more energy than you started out with. So if we start with point A, if you go across the board, this is supposed to be a little bit lower, but it'll hit this maximum point because the energy is conserved, and then it's just going to fall back down to the stable point, which is going to be at 2, about 1.75, 2. It's just going to be in this area. And then, let's see, part F, what value or values of x correspond to points of stable equilibrium? Stable equilibriums are the troughs, so it's going to be at the bottom. So about 0.75 and about 1.75 are the points. And then G, what's the points of unstable equilibrium? That's just going to be the peaks. So you can't count this one because we don't have the absolute or the apex, so it's just going to be C, which is about 1.5. This should be shifted over, but it shows in the graph on your sheet.